Thank you for joining us today for the webinar, PaperClipPlus for Business. My name is Lori Folta. I'm a business analyst and integration analyst with Business Integration Technology, the company that developed PaperClipPlus. For those of you that are unfamiliar with PaperClipPlus, I'll start with a short 2-minute introduction, then we'll move on to the demonstration portion of today's webinar. PaperClipPlus is a cloud file sharing service. I know you're hearing that everywhere now. Online file sharing, cloud file storage, send large files, free large file hosting. But what if it's mission critical? What if your file absolutely, positively has to get there? Answer, PaperClipPlus. With PaperClipPlus, you get a whole lot more than sharing files and sending big files. Audit. You can see when the recipient got your file or if they didn't get it, which is sometimes even more important with our full audit history. You get control. You have the ability to restrict access to a specific list of intended recipients using authorization strings. You get privacy. There are no public searches or views of files that are uploaded to PaperClipPlus. And you also get file sets. You can share groups of files, which we call file sets, with our cutting-edge concept of tags. But what don't you get with PaperClipPlus? It's true, there are some things that you don't get with PaperClipPlus. First, there is no software to install. PaperClipPlus works on any browser, on any device. So it works on your computer, it also works on your smartphone and your tablet, as long as you're on an internet connection and you have a browser. Second, there is no annoying advertising or pop-up windows. So there are no ads for you when you are logged in and uploading files and sharing files with others. And likewise for your recipients, for those to whom you share your PaperClipPlus files, they also will not see advertising, they will not have pop-ups. And finally, there are no fees. It is free to use the PaperClipPlus basic services. Now I'd like to share with you some of the ways that your business can benefit from using PaperClipPlus. And remember, these basic PaperClipPlus services are free. Everything I will be showing you today, you can do with no fees. So the first example I'll show you today is how to use PaperClipPlus to send invoices and know if they have not been received before you have cash flow problems. Second, you can upload a product catalog and then use tags and file sets to send precise product lists to clients and new prospects. And finally, number 3, you can use PaperClipPlus to send large files that are too big to be sent through email. So for the first example, the invoices example, I am using an account that I have set up for a company that transports vehicles. So you should see on your screen here, I have a company called Car Haul Carrier, and I have several invoices that I've already uploaded to this account. So I want to see if Acme Incorporated and Big Car Company have seen their most recent invoices. So first I'm going to check this Acme invoice number 2493. So you click the row for that invoice and that brings you to the detail screen. And from here, in order to see the history, I click this button here that looks like a magnifying glass and it says history. So when I click that, I get to see the history of events that took place on this particular file. So you can see the right event here from the user, Car Haul Carrier. That's one that was uploaded. There are 2 update events, and those are times when I made modifications, say, to the description or to the tags. And then you can also see here, this is the important one, there's a read event. This action, read, tells me that jsmith@acme.com read this file. You can see here, this says about a month ago, but if you put your cursor over it and let it hover, then you're presented with an actual date timestamp. And I want to point out to you that these timestamps are Central Time United States time. That's where our servers are located. So those are the timestamps that get put onto our files. So we can see that J. Smith at Acme accessed this file. And so now I want to check the invoice for Big Car Company. So I'm just going to click the back button so I can get back to my list of invoices. There are my list of invoices. And so I want to look at this most recent invoice for Big Car Company, number 2517. Again, I select the row so that I can get my history view. And then to look at the audit, I click the magnifying glass button, the history button, and I'm presented with the history. And now for this one, there's only 2 events recorded. When I wrote the file, meaning when I uploaded it, and then when I made an update to the description or something like that. And so there is no read event. So this tells me that I should probably contact Big Car Company so that they can pay this invoice before it hits my aged receivables report and becomes a problem both for me and for them. So that shows you how you can use PaperClipPlus for something like invoices, where it is vital that you make sure that they are received and processed on time, so you can now know with certainty that you don't get through email and you don't get through the regular mail on if the invoice was received and processed. And so you know the ones that you need to follow up on. Okay, and so now for my next example, I need to log out and log in under another profile. Okay, so for my next example, example number 2, that's my product catalog example. So for this example, I have a real estate agency that is sending home listings to clients. And this will give me a good opportunity to explain tags and file sets to you. So you can see that we have several home listings already uploaded. And notice that each of them have a couple of tags. Over here in this column is where it shows what the tags are. Think of tags as descriptors or characteristics of the contents of a particular file. So let me point out to you these 3 files right here that have the Maplewood tag on them. What this means, Maplewood indicates where these homes are located. So there's a town in the area here called Maplewood. And then the second tag, 150 to 200, that is the price range for that home. So this home has a price range between $150,000 and $200,000. So likewise, this home in Maplewood has a price between $100,000 and $150,000. And so then now let me point out these 3 files down here, these St. Louis homes. So these 3 homes are all in the city of St. Louis. They all have their appropriate price range tag. But they also have a third tag. And that indicates the area of the city where they are located. Because to tell someone here that a home is in Maplewood, that's pretty specific. You know where that is. But to say that the home is in the city of St. Louis, well, that's pretty large. And that can mean a lot of different things. And so we have areas of the city or neighborhoods, and that gives us an indication of what part of the city they're located in. So these files have a downtown tag or midtown or South City, and that gives somebody an idea of what part of town they're in. So these tags are important because they enable you to make groupings of files, what we call file sets. So you can see up here at the top of this list are where I have my file sets that are set up. So let's look at the file set for St. Louis. So what you're going to see here is that this file set where the description is St. Louis has the tag of St. Louis. So that means any file with the St. Louis tag is going to be included in this file set. And I can show you the contents by clicking this button here with the double arrows. That allows us to view the file set contents. So you can see here that this file set contains the 3 homes that have the St. Louis tag. So with a file set, what that enables you to do is to share a whole group of files with a client by sending one email with one link instead of having to send multiple links to a client or a prospect. So the benefit to the client is that they can bookmark or save one link to get to all the files that you would want to send to them, regardless of what they are. They can be different types of files. But here's the real advantage. In this example here with the real estate agency, new homes come on the market all the time. So the real estate agent can upload new listings, give them the appropriate tags, for example, St. Louis, and they will automatically become part of this file set. So without the client having to do anything, all you have to do is tell them, check your link again, go to that link that I sent you last week. I have some new listings that I want you to see. And so it makes it very easy on the client side to get new information from you without having to receive new emails or keep track of new links. So let me show you how to create a file set. It's really very easy. Let's say the real estate agent has a client that wants to see homes in the $150,000 to $200,000 price range, regardless of their location. So click the tab called New File Set, and that gives you the blank form where you can create a new file set. So we're going to put a description in here, and I'm going to call this Homes in the Range 150 to 200,000. I'm going to leave the authorization everyone, which means any email address will be able to access this file, because I may want to share this group of home listings with multiple clients. So I want to leave that open. Verified, I want to uncheck verified. What verified means is that you must be logged in order to view the file. And so I want to allow users that are not logged in to PaperClipPlus to be able to see this grouping of files. So I just uncheck that. But here's where the critical part is, the tag. I have to add the right tag to make sure I get the right files in this file set. So I want to put the tag that's 150 to 200. And so it's crucial that the tag on the file set match exactly the tag on the individual home listings, so that those individual home listings get included in this file set. So then we just click the Create button, and the screen refreshes, and we are presented with a notification that says that homes in the range 150 to 200,000 was successful. Click on the My Files tab to see it. So we click the My Files tab again, which is where we were before. And so you can see now I have a new file set. So let's look at it and let's view the contents, and let's make sure that it contains the files that we intended to be included. So again, you click the row to get your detail, and then you click the double arrow button so that you can view the contents. Okay, and so here you can see that this file set currently contains 5 listings, all of them being in the $150,000 to $200,000 range, regardless of where they're located. So I've got one in St. Louis, I've got the 2 in Maplewood, I have one in Manchester and one in Baldwin. So we can see that all the listings with the tag 150 to 200 are included in the file set, just as the client wanted. So now I can share that file set with that client. I'm going to show you how to do a share in my next example. So my third and final example, I need to log out again and log back in. So for the last topic today is how to use PaperClipPlus when you need to send files that are too large for email. You might need to send marketing files that have lots of graphics, or maybe engineering or architectural files, or really anything that is a file size that is too large to be sent through email, either because your email service provider has the restriction, or on the recipient's end, they're not able to receive it because it's too big. Or this example that I'm going to show you right now, You might be a software developer or reseller who needs to distribute software installation files. And so that's what you see here before you. You can see that I have a couple of software installer files already uploaded in this account. And so I want to mention here that depending on the size of the file and the speed of your network connection, it may take a couple of minutes to complete the upload of a very large file to PaperClipPlus. So you might need to just give it a few minutes, and then once it's done, you only have to do it once, and you can now share it with anyone. So I went ahead and I already uploaded some files so that we wouldn't have the delay of waiting for the upload to complete during the webinar. So I'm going to show you now how you can share a file once you have uploaded it to PaperClipPlus, and I'm going to use this SQLize beta installer example. So again, click the row to get to the details for that file. And so in order to share, another button we have over here is the share button, and that's the one that has the person's figure. And so when you click that, you get a window that shows you the 3 different options we give you for sharing your files. The first option is you can simply copy the URL here and paste it wherever you need it. So you can right-click that link, and you can see here you have this option here, copy link location. When you copy it, it's now on your clipboard. And so you can go to an email, you can go to a document, you can go to any place where you might need to be putting this link that you want to share with others. The second one is probably the most used, and I'll get to that one in a second. That's you're going to use my default email client. The third one, let's say you're not using an email client, which is email software on your computer. Let's say you're using a web mail service like Yahoo Mail or Gmail or something else that you access just through a web browser. We've provided you with some text that you can copy and paste into the body of your email. So here again, you can highlight this text. You can right-click and hit copy, or if you like the keyboard shortcuts, you can hit Control-C. And again, that copies it to your clipboard, and then you can paste it wherever you need to, into your the blank email that you started in your webmail. But I want to show you the second option here, the email client option. So you just click this button that looks like the email icon, and what it's going to do is it's going to open my email client. And I'm going to send this to an internal email that we have set up so that I can access that and show you what it looks like on the recipient side. So now I'm going to go to, I'm going to check that email. Sorry for the delay. It took me to the wrong place first. So this is what the email looks like from the recipient side. The person that you sent this to received the email that says, please go to this link to retrieve the file. And so when you click this link here, they are presented with the file here to download. And so you just, the person then can click this link to download the file. And so your like the normal options that you get when you're downloading a file from email or from a web page is you can open it or you can save it. So I'm not going to save that on the computer here, but I just wanted to show you how that looked from the recipient side. So we've just seen how to send a file using PaperClipPlus and what it looks like to the recipient. And you've seen how to use PaperClipPlus to send large files. At this point, I'd like to announce that we just increased our file size limit this week to 2 gigabytes. So you have even more flexibility on the size of your files. That concludes today's webinar. We demonstrated how to use PaperClipPlus to know if your file was received, or more importantly, if it has not. We also saw how to create a product catalog using tags and file sets. And then finally, we saw how to share large files and the different options we provide for sharing, along with the recipient's view of PaperClipPlus. So the last thing I'd like to show you today is the support tab, where we have helpful video presentations and a list of frequently asked questions. So as you scroll down here, you can see we have some presentations, like this one is getting started. It's a basic overview. So you just click to proceed through the presentation. And then down below, there is a list of frequently asked questions. And if the information you're looking for you cannot find, either in the system or through the support page, then you can always email us at support@paperclipplus.com. Finally, I want to mention that we plan to host another webinar in the next month or so. It will be covering different topics than the ones we covered today. So be sure to check our website for updates on that. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate your time.